Hi. Film that I caught recently on one of the many Freeview channels is First Men in the Moon, an adaptation of H.G. Wells' novel. It's, I think, riding on the success of the film version of The Time Machine from 1960. This came out in 1964, and it stars Lionel Jeffries and Edward Judd. Jeffries plays Cavor, a scientist who has developed a paste that, when applied to objects and then allowing them to dry, repels the force of gravity. He and his new cohort, played by Judd, decide that this will be the making of them financially, but Cavor's dream is to use it to fly to the moon. He applies it to the underside of a sphere, and off they fly to the moon, and they have an adventure with some aliens they find there called Selenites. The original book is comparatively slender, and it's been adapted a number of times. There's a very good BBC adaptation from around 10 years ago with Mark Gatiss and Rory Kinnear. But this version decides to add the love interest by having the Judd character accompanied by his fiancée, so that there's a female character in it and some romance to sell it to people who otherwise would not be interested. Um, I was rather startled when I was reading up on the film to find out that Lionel Jeffries, who looks about 60 and is completely bald, is younger than I am now. So that was something of a wake up call in at least one direction. But overall, I found the film to be, frankly, rather pedestrian. Um, it doesn't have the charm that I think The Time Machine or even the original War of the Worlds had. And I think the particular problem is that the Judd character spends so much time on the moon antagonizing the Selenites, starting fights with them or shoving them into crevices, that the decision that the Selenite people come to, that humanity is dangerous and needs to be destroyed to protect themselves, seems entirely reasonable in context, rather than being the shock twist. Also, the way that Cavor is left behind on the moon and seemingly forgotten felt a bit perfunctory, given that he's been such a major character. The film has an overall uh, bookend sequence, placing it around a United Nations mission to be the first men on the moon that we are aware of. And the film was actually released 5 years before Apollo 11. And that bookend was actually reused for the BBC version. And it's a nice idea, but unfortunately, the old age makeup applied to Edward Judd renders him totally unrecognisable. So, although it's good in some ways, and I like the idea that the Selenites are portrayed as totally alien, the necessities of bowing to conventions of the time, of having humanity being totally justified in attacking the weird aliens, and the necessity of adding a love interest means that the film is not quite what it should be. I do recommend the BBC version. I believe it's available on DVD. And although this version is of interest, it's not really worth your time if you're not that engaged by it.